Barak Yahweh, Barak Yahweh Shah, Yahweh Bahashim, Yahweh Shah, Bahashim, Barak Kadash. All praises, honor, glory, love, respect, faith, and power, and trust, and all credit to my Heavenly Father, Yahweh, and my Heavenly Big Brother, Yahweh Shah. Thank you so much for what you've done, what you're doing, and what you're going to do. Double honors to the apostles and elders and bishops of GMS, Great Millstone, who I learned from, and all the men scattered all over the world, teaching this truth and nothing but the truth in the name, spirit, and the power of Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Shah, trying to put the spiritual bug in you Hebrew Israelites' ears, you so-called Black Latinos, Hispanics, Native Americans, Seminole Indians, and you speckled birds. And what is a speckled bird? That'd be a Hebrew Israelite that look like some of the heathen nations, like, for example, Hebrew Israelite that look like a so-called white person, or so-called Chinese person, etc., etc. Another video of the plagues of the Lord of kicking people's butts worldwide. Let's play these videos. I'm going to get into the scripture, my best ability, say whatever God say through spirit and power, Yahweh Shema Shah, the Holy Spirit, the Kurhak, Qudash, Lord willing be, I'm going to let get it.
The biggest heat dome on the planet on top of the U.S. Much of the nation will endure a brutal and long-lasting heat wave. Weekend highs reaching 105 in the plains from Texas all the way up to Canada. Hundreds of heat records over the next week. The hottest weather will be in the southwest, with Phoenix topping 110 on 7 of the next 10 days. Palm Springs should exceed 120, even flirting with its all-time record of 124 by next weekend, as the heat dome challenges all-time record heights.
And this is the monster heat wave that I was warning you about. It is now here. It's going to set in here on the west coast and move its way across the country. It's going to bring temps, as you can see there, potentially around 124 degrees. These are deadly, super deadly heat waves. And I'm going to tell you, just like always, all of this is engineered, modified.
Who cares? Modified engineer, you giving man credit, nigga. Yeah, I'm getting tired of these niggas with this. I understand their brothers that talk about it, but don't give them man no fucking credit. It's all the credit goes to Yahweh Shema Shah when he laying these spiritual smackdowns of plagues on you people's candy asses. Yeah, this is all the Lord. You know, fucking man with Esau, these goddamn modified fucking shit like he got a giant magnifying glass over people's butts. No, it's the plagues of the Lord. The Lord doing this. He controls everything. Even these monkey ass heathens doing this. But it's all ultimately the Lord.
And being controlled.
Yeah, I had to say all that because it has to be said. I get fucking tired of hearing this shit. The modified, manufactured weather and so the fuck what?
Not to help us, that's for sure. On top of the drought we have, you can see that they're pushing this heat into an area that has all kinds of wildfires. Even though they've got some out, this will help to fuel more. So it's like the weather warfare continues. It's relentless. And the heat waves, super deadly. I would not take them lightly. So a heads up for everyone out there. Pay attention throughout this next week until this passes. You join me for the live.
Next video.
The United Nations has sounded the alarm over a growing humanitarian crisis in Cuba. In the past 10 days, there's been 3 prolonged national power blackouts. There are food and fuel shortages, and the economy is struggling, leaving millions of Cubans facing daily hardship.
Decades of US sanctions, government economic policies, and a deteriorating energy infrastructure have all played a role. Well, joining us now, Cuban-American Joseph Gonzalez, who...
Just an ass kicking from Yahweh Shema Shah and you Marasaites, or there's other mixtures of tribes there in Israel, in Cuba, but it's still an ass kicking from the Lord. And y'all better repent and seek the Lord if you heard the names of Yahweh Shema Shah.
is an associate...
Goddamn, not no fucking G-bus. These niggas eat pork and shit, and you need to leave that fucking shit alone.
Professor of...
Just like you need to leave G-bus alone.
Global Studies at the Appalachian State University. Welcome to you. I know you're in touch with people in Cuba all the time. What are conditions? What is their life like?
In Cuba right now, it is a slow-motion humanitarian disaster. You're lucky if you live in Havana. You're lucky to have power, perhaps 2 or 3 hours of power over several days. Water has stopped functioning, the infrastructure is crumbling, and it's only a matter of time before cholera and other diseases make themselves known.
Given all of that, then, is there any normality to life in Cuba at the moment?
I've been going to Cuba for 30 years, and this is the worst I've ever seen. You will see Cubans scrounging for scraps in garbage dumps. You will see rats at night. You will see Cubans unable to refrigerate or freeze food. That's a big deal in the tropics. If you can't store food...
Hey, if they're going through that in that country, you know damn well America, whoo-wee. They got rats everywhere. The sanitation is not, that is not working. Water shut down or whatever the fuck. Now, I ain't saying that all over the country of America gonna be like that, but it's gonna be a lot of places America's building up, getting worse and worse. Pretty much gonna say the whole country will be like that in that condition. Yeah, they don't give a fuck if it was a red state or a blue state, all that monkey ass shit. But either way, it's coming to America. And we're gonna have a whole heap of shit. When you got motherfuckers that's going crazy and such, killing each other, man, you're gonna have a whole bunch of shit where there's rats got diseases that kill again. The water is toxic, and goodness, man, it's gonna get bad here. And plus, all over the world, it's gonna be some bad shit, especially wherever you Israelites are located. Hey, the Lord got something for you.
You've got problems. I have Cuban friends who have been told by doctors, yeah, we can treat you if you bring your own drugs. Life in Cuba is a day-to-day struggle. Everyone I met is depressed and very afraid of the future.
And what is it doing to the health of the nation? I read that infant mortality is up something like 150%.
Yes, infant mortality is up. People are not able to get treatment for very basic diseases. As I said, you have to bring your own drugs. Drugs, like antibiotics, are available in Cuba, but you've got to have money. You've got to have U.S. dollars. The Cuban government does not have the resources to treat its population anymore.
How much of this, Joseph, is down to domestic policies over the years, and how much is it down to what the Trump administration is doing?
I think it's definitely 50-50. The Trump administration has made the U.S. embargo just that much worse by imposing an energy embargo shortly after the abduction of Nicolas Maduro. So that's part of it.
And these niggas keep constantly talking about that Cuba's planning on a terrorist attack. And I'm like, yeah, whatever. Meanwhile, these niggas already doing a terrorist attack by cutting off their electricity, water, and all that shit. Oil supply. I'm like, they the one that United States the first one talking about we gonna take Cuba. How you gonna do that? Strong arm, strong force. And they don't say the Cuba trying to set a terrorist attack. Nigga, y'all the ones who goddamn want to attack first. Bitch ass niggas.
You can't import energy into Cuba in any sort of...
But don't forget, these are players of the Lord, and the Lord whooping you Israelite butts.
...substantial amounts. But also the government frankly has mismanaged the economy for decades. And Cubans fundamentally blame their government for the state they're in.
Joseph, do you think that the US is hoping to incite some sort of civil uprising?
Absolutely. I think the U.S. government very much would like to see the Cubans overthrow their government, or they'd like to see some member of the Cuban elite step forward and with armed conspirators overthrow the government. But the truth is, every Cuban I spoke to, and I was just there last month, every Cuban I spoke to said, we cannot do this. We cannot overthrow this government. We have to have the help of the Americans. And they really are praying for...
Oh, man. The American government, the one that put you in this situation. Hell, the American government, well, Yahweh Shema Shah put y'all in this situation. But by using America to whoop your ass. So, on a low level, America put y'all in this situation. But, yeah. And y'all want to scream out to America, like, please help us, America. Shit. Yeah, what are they going to that scripture about? Woe to those who go to Egypt for help? Shit. Or go to America, shit. No destruction. They already destroying your dumb asses. And you want to go to America for more help? Nigga, please.
The Americans to save...
You need to be seeking the Lord. That's where your help truly comes from.
them.
How about Shema Shah?
They are.
Are there any relief efforts in place at all?
Yes, the international community is responding. There are mission trips to Cuba. There is an attempt by other countries to try and provide some humanitarian aid to Cuba. But the fact is that the embargo is so stringent and every week seems to bring some new turn of the screw by the United States. Other countries are very reluctant to become involved in this controversy, this conflict with the United States.
Joseph Gonzalez, we appreciate your time. Thank you very much.
Whatever. Yeah, you see them folk gonna be getting them microchips. Yeah, it's just yeah, America cut off that power. They're gonna be like, hey, but in order to bring in electricity and all that stuff, they'll get them chips. That's how they gonna get you people. Microchip. Cut off the power, cut off the water, cut off the food. Get them microchips. You'll have all that. spots are looking dead.
Y bueno, fue una experiencia.
Ain't it funny? They don't never show you the tourist spots. Go back to that shit. They never show you that shit. They never show you them swanky looking hotels with the nice pools and the this and the that and the chairs and the waiters and the waitresses come to serve you food and shit. And a lot of them are Israelites. Like, how can I serve you, master? Give me a beer, nigga. Yeah, they be like, shit. You don't see this shit on TV. No, they always show you the slums. Cause these niggas already be in these countries. And they talking about nobody's allowed to go to Cuba. Yeah. Nobody's not allowed to go to Cuba. Nah, shit. Well, you don't want to go to Cuba because people are hungry, starving, and dangerous right now. They're willing to do anything. They're ready to cut your head off and bust your skull open, eat your brains out like it's a cantaloupe. That's bad when Jake results of that shit.
Y bueno, fue una experiencia un poco mala porque, ¿sabes? Uno, no sé, cocina con eléctrica porque sabe que no hay el gas está perdido. Y entonces uno tiene que a veces cocinar en carbón, ¿entiendes? Comprar el saco de carbón, jabita de carbón para poder cocinar. Y es pesado, ¿eh? Ya después, a veces cuando te coge el apagón por toda la noche, ya tú sabes, las malas noches, calor, mosquitos.
Por la noche no se puede dormir aquí porque estamos durmiendo aquí en la sala porque el calor es insoportable. Y llevamos casi 2 meses, aquí por lo menos en esta zona no ponen luz por las noches. Por la madrugada aquí no ponen luz. Aquí la luz la ponen en el día a 2 o 3 horas, desde la mañana hasta más tardar al mediodía. Y esto genera un poco de malestar, ¿me entiendes? El ser humano necesita descansar, necesita eso. Aparte, tenemos que trabajar.
Afectan inmensamente porque muchas personas quedan fuera, muchos lugares quedan cerrados, no hay flujo de turismo, no hay entrada, no hay economía y la afectación es grande.
Melia y Iberostar son 2 cadenas que es muy penoso que se vayan de mi país porque son 2 cadenas que son respetadas y queridas por todo el pueblo cubano porque es la que nos aporta turismo en mi país, que es un país turístico, mi país es una joya, Cuba es una joya, lo que necesita de que el bloqueo americano es el que no
What it needs is to rid of the American blockade, which has caused us this story. Well, what you need to do is seek the Lord and pray the Lord get rid of Esau Edom, get his ass out of power. Then you'll be feeling good. Then way more better. Especially having to live happy on one island, you'll be happy in the whole world. You can go anywhere you want to without a fucking passport. But this monkey-ass cracker got a passport for everybody. You're not allowed to go here or there. You got to pay us money so be allowed to go to travel around the world. I'm like, fuck you, nigga. And I hate this fucking world. And this is what happens when the earth is given to the hands of the wicked. Hey, when the wicked bear fruit, the people mourn. Look at these. These my brothers and sisters. They born it. You got some heathens in the midst of that shit in Cuba. But the majority of them going to be Israelites, no matter what they look like. They suffer. But, I only care for the elect of Israel. Not all of Israel. Because, shit. There's going to be a large portion of Israel that has to be destroyed. And I hope and pray y'all don't be one of them. You better hope and pray too. Let's get to today's video. No, matter of fact, let me let it keep playing.
provocado esta historia.
Representa que Cuba, ya hundirse Cuba en el mar, y el mar es como que el mar ya tape la isla. Si se van en la cadena de turismo.
I don't know why Buddy cut his mustache off. Anyway.
Turismo de Cuba, de los hoteles. Claro, si el turismo es todo. El turismo es todo para mí y para mi ámbito donde yo me desenvuelvo, el turismo es todo.
Anyway. Yep. Good old fashioned butt kicking from the Lord. What is this about alcohol brands struggle to adapt as more Americans cut back on drinking? Hey, you know what? Let's get that. I'm gonna save that for something. Yeah, because they can't drink them sorrows away. Let's see what's going on in America. They still got those mutant rodents running around, plaguing the city.
Our old CRM spent 30.
Come on, nigga.
There is a rising pest control problem facing many cities. Rats and mice are growing resistant to common poisons.
Michael George spoke with the scientists who discovered these so-called mutant rats.
Ask any New Yorker, they've got a strong opinion about rats.
I hate rats. I'm scared of them.
But that fear may only grow when people learn New York and many other cities are now home to mutant rats. A Rutgers University study found the DNA of rats and mice is literally changing. The rodents are growing resistant to rat poison.
It's a health concern. That's actually the main reason why we always have.
Esau released some new breed of fucking rats and shit, and it probably took about 5 years for them to finally dominate the city, and now they realize, oh shit, this pesticide ain't doing shit to these little niggas. What we gonna have to do? What you gonna do?
To keep an eye on the mice and rats.
Entomology professor Chonglu Wang and researcher Jinjia Yu conducted the study, trapping mice and rats in urban environments and testing them. They found about 70% of mice and 35% of rats have the...
That nigga said, I got my shit. That trap don't work.
Mutation.
Which means these
and they probably got smarter too.
Mice were less likely to be killed.
That little sucker was happy as hell when he got that food.
Rats have the mutations and testing them. They found about 70% of mice and 35% of rats have the mutation.
He running off.
Means these mice were less likely to be killed by eating the poison and will survive the treatment.
And that means controlling rat populations will only get tougher. More than just pests, they also can spread allergens and disease. Rat poison was the most effective way to fight back.
They've been using it for decades. Of course. They need to find something else.
I don't know what to do, but yeah, something.
The study's authors say
well, y'all might need to go to your local Walmart or go on Amazon, get a BB gun or a pellet gun and take care of the problem that way. But it's going to be too much for these people to even bear. Boy.
Some less effective poisons can still be used. Cities should explore alternative strategies. New York has reported success with a simple idea, requiring all trash be put in sealed bins.
And then they're going to chew that shit up. They're going to chew a hole because they know what's in those bins. Trash, food. So they're going to chew a hole through that shit. They all going to take turns. They're going to be single file line. They're going to take turns, gnaw that shit down till they teeth, because you know their teeth keeps growing. So what they do, they just chew it down till their teeth gets a little numb, not numb, but a little low. Then they go to the next one and they chew it down. And, you know, it's like an assembly line or some shit like that until they finally make a hole in, and then they go and grub.
Everyone should be aware of these creatures and we need to put more efforts, try to manage them.
In cities always changing, the rodents are adapting too. Michael George, CBS News, New.
Yeah, man, fucking pestilence, bro. The Lord is bringing it to you people. Oh yeah, what is it? Cuba again? No electricity, garbage everywhere. Yeah, in Havana. Yeah, they got them rats. Yeah. Let's see what's going on with the water being shitty.
A fifth person dies in New York City amid Legionnaire's disease outbreak. 82 cases. Widow of Legionnaire's victim plans lawsuit. Outbreak has been traced to cooling towers and buildings. Private owners of these cooling towers. 8 people remain hospitalized.
Covering what the corporate media covers up.
With the media focused on an explosive diarrhea outbreak across the U.S., you would be forgiven if you did not know that a fifth person has just died from a waterborne disease in New York City. I'm JT Siskowski with Status Quo, where we stay focused on issues that actually impact and affect working class people, especially water quality. We will start with our coverage from The Guardian this morning. And I should, before we jump into it, note that we're going to cover a lot here, including the fact that Trump is not focused on delivering clean drinking water, no, instead focused on election denialism and supposed interference from China. We will get to that here in just a moment, but we start with The Guardian, who says a fifth person dies in New York City amid Legionnaire's disease outbreak. Outbreak has been traced to the Upper East Side cooling towers, but Mayor Mamdani believes the source of the exposure was eliminated. A fifth person has died in New York City in connection with the Legionnaire's disease outbreak on Manhattan's Upper East Side neighborhood, according to the city's health department. In an update issued on Tuesday, the department said that 82 cases of Legionnaire's disease have now been identified and 5 people have died. 8 people remain hospitalized while 56 have been discharged. And given that this is status quo, where Jordan Sheridan, one of our reporters, has been doggedly on the ground for years, a decade at this point, covering the fallout of the Flint water crisis long after much of the media has moved on. I should point out that Legionnaire's was a disease that killed people in Flint, Michigan as well, too. While the media focused and hyperfixated on the lead pipes that were going on there was also disease outbreak of Legionnaire's disease that killed people. And the thing about Legionnaire's is that it can present as pneumonia or any other respiratory illness. So sometimes people can die from Legionnaire's without actually ever being diagnosed with it in the first place. Doctors will simply think that it is a case of pneumonia or some kind of other respiratory disease. So there is a good chance that what has happened here, as was the case in Flint, Michigan, that there are more people being infected and dying from this illness that we do not know about and will never know about because of the sorry state of our infrastructure and healthcare in this country. But again, that is not a story that you will hear covered much in the mainstream media, something that you only get in coverage here on Status Coup, where we stay focused on these kinds of issues. If you think that this kind of coverage is important, go to statuscoup.com/join. For as low as $5 a month, you go to keep us on the ground in communities like Flint and documenting things like this Legionnaires outbreak here in New York City. But we return to the Guardian's coverage. For now, officials said that there had been no new cases diagnosed in 6 days, with one reporting new symptoms in over 10 days, but they have cautioned that these figures may change as new cases are investigated and confirmed. The outbreak has been traced to cooling towers and buildings on Manhattan's Upper East Side, and the health department said on Tuesday that confirmatory culture test results came back positive for live Legionella bacteria in 34 cooling towers across 33 buildings on the Upper East Side. And people are paying attention to the fact that these outbreaks are in cooling towers that need to be cleaned, because there is now actually a lawsuit that is coming for some of these private owners of these buildings where these cooling towers were located, as indicated.
Well, of course, they got to be owned by Amalek.
Here by coverage from ABC7 in New York. Widow of Legionnaires victim plans lawsuit as outbreak death toll reaches 5. Robert Goldstein lived on the Upper East Side where the
Goldstein.
outbreak has led to 82 cases and 5 deaths. Goldstein spent 2 weeks in the intensive care unit.
Oh man, Poe Goldstein, he got sick.
Or dying Friday, and is among 5 people who have died during the outbreak. City health officials say there have now been 82 confirmed cases, with 8 people currently hospitalized, 53 discharged, and 12.
It's funny, I was just talking about it could be probably Amalek, and then all of a sudden Goldstein pop up. Wow.
Of others not requiring hospitalization. Ida Goldstein can still hear her dying husband's last words, haunting her as she watched him suffering on life support. Quote, "To see him that way with all of that machinery and lying there helpless, it just tears me apart," Goldstein said. Goldstein's attorney says his client's building tested negative for Legionella. He plans to sue the owner of the cooling tower that got him.
I knew it. I was just like, he's Goldstein, he got sick, so you know he gonna sue this shit. He gonna win. He gonna win big. Even whoever's responsible for that shit, the water, probably his own people. He gonna sue his own people. Them niggas don't play around when it comes to lawsuits. Anyway.
Sick. So these are the private owners of these cooling towers that are being identified by the people affected as those responsible for what is happening here. Yet we have seen people attempt to turn this into...
Anyway. Yeah, enough of the Legionnaires. They still talking about this shit. What is this, water crisis? How much worse is it? Speaking of water, I'm gonna play this. Not really play it, but hold on. I'm gonna move it somewhere. I'm gonna put it right here. There's a drought in Utah. I'm gonna play this though.
Hey, Georgia.
News from Canada about a catfish with cancer. Catfishes. I mean, goddamn. You know that's a problem when catfish are sick. And when you find a catfish that's sick, something's wrong. Something is really wrong. Because you know catfish are bottom feeders. They eat shit. They eat dead things. I mean, they eat rotten shit in the water. But they don't get sick from it because they're designed not to get sick. But now all of a sudden they get cancer?
Well, catfish in a lake on the Quebec-Vermont border are sickening one another with cancer. But how? Researchers at the University of Vermont have discovered a new transmissible contagious skin cancer among a third of brown bullhead catfish in Lake Memphremagog. So for more on the new findings, we're joined in studio by, who else? Dan Riskin, CTV Science and Technology Specialist. This is a bizarre story, and the pictures that go with it are gross. Fishers at the lake first noticed these black inky spots on the surface of the catfish about 10 years ago. How did researchers, first of all, find out they're cancerous and contagious?
Yeah, I do not like this story one bit. It gives me the creeps.
Well, the earth is getting fucked up more and more. It had to come from America.
It feels like something out of X-Files. So yeah, 2012, they found...
No, it actually came from the Lord. Well, first off, the Lord plaguing, how can I say this? Ultimately, the Lord is plaguing all these cat, and you supposed to, and I'm guessing people eating this damn thing. You don't supposed to eat no catfish. Ain't got no scales. You got to peel the, it's not edible. But anyway, if Jake seen something like that, man, they'd be allowed to eat this shit.
A couple of these fish had this black sort of raised skin, and they were like, well, what is that? And then over the ensuing years, it became more and more common to the point that by 2017, it's on more than a third of the
But Esau, they doing something, these damn fish.
catfish in the lake, just this one lake.
And it's everywhere on them, I understand. In their eyes, in their mouths,
On their fins, and their eyes, all over the place, and it looks like it's raised. And so they were like, "What is this?" So they sample it, and the scientists have a look, and it's cancerous. But what's really weird about it is that if you look at the DNA of the cancer on a fish, it's not similar to the DNA in the rest of the fish. It's similar to the DNA of the other cancers on other fish. So it's almost like a separate batch of cells that is spreading across fish like a parasite. It doesn't grow out of them; it gets on them and then grows on their skin. And so that's weird.
Yeah.
That doesn't. I mean, cancer doesn't normally work like that. There are only 3 or 4 other examples in all of nature of a transmissible cancer like that. There's one in dogs. There's one in Tasmanian devils. There's one that clams can get, and now this is the first one in a freshwater ecosystem in fish. And so it's a lot of questions are coming up.
Getting back to the Tasmanian devils, the dogs, and the shellfish, how do they know how those cancers?
And then shellfish, Tasmanian devils, they're known to be bottom feeders. They eat dead carcasses. Oh, Tasmanian devil, making them loud ass noise. What you looking at? They going, them niggas are eating anything that's dead. Yeah, they bottom feeders. They cleanse the earth, but they getting cancer. Goddamn, all these bottom feeders are getting cancer. They don't supposed to get sick, but they are.
Yeah, so those are quite well studied. The one that occurs in dogs is thousands of years old and originates from a batch of dogs in North America. The one that's in Tasmanian devils is only decades old, and it was a weird cancer that showed up in one Tasmanian devil.
This is your footage, I think, right?
Yeah, I shot this out on my vacation. I didn't know I was working. I thought I was on a vacation in Tasmania over Christmas. I will write it off now, thank you. This is at a captive location where they keep these, but you can see these 2 Tasmanian devils having an interaction where they're sort of like in each other's faces, and in nature, they bite each other's faces a lot, and that's how they spread this facial tumor disease. And so trying to figure out how to stop this cancer that ultimately kills them is a big conservation question for Tasmanian devils. So they're not starting from scratch on these.
Man, the earth is mourning, man. That's all I can tell you, man. These animals are getting jacked up. Hold on. Hell, I gotta do something about my dog. This dog got mange. She all mangy. She got some little bugs. I think they what they call them things? Snow fleas. But they ain't really fleas. They just hop. They don't do shit. I got some stuff I ordered from Amazon. I gotta put some of it underneath the patio because that's where she normally chill at, underneath the patio. But it's summertime too, so I expect the fur to fall off because it'd be like that every year. But now it's like it's way worse than last year. But I bought some skin care stuff for her, so bring back her skin and her fur to some degree, some decency. But shit, it's just the earth is fucked up, mourning, animals all jacked up, the people all jacked up. We need the Lord, man. We be here too long. Everything will have cancer and disease, AIDS, and all kind of shit because of this nigger Esau, Amalek. Damn.
Fish, there are other systems that they can learn from, but we have all kinds of questions. How do the fish catch it?
Yeah.
Do they have to touch each other, or is it?
Goodness gracious, these niggas been doing something to the animals, or dumping illegal dumping, there was a spraying chemtrails, or dumping shit in the water and in the land, you know.
Just in the water, or is it in the sediment where they lay their eggs?
Yeah.
We don't know that. When does it show up in their life cycle? Does it kill them? What are the health problems? And of course, the big question is, can it spread to anything else?
Okay, like humans.
Humans.
Listen, this is a lake that is popular for tourists, for boaters, for swimmers, and this is now the concern.
Yeah.
If it's in the water, can humans get it?
Right, and 175,000 people get their
Yes, they'll get it. Shit, if it's in the water.
drinking water from this lake.
Right.
So how is it spreading, and is it a threat? Now, the Tasmanian devil one doesn't go to any other animals, so that's good news, although this is a totally separate thing. But at least it gives you some comfort. The one that's in clams and mussels can spread between different...
Bottom feed. Why is always the bottom feeders? Clams, mussels, catfish, Tasmanian devil. They said something about a dog. I don't know what that dog... I think that dog could be a bottom feeder. Well, dogs can eat dead things too. Man, not... Well, no. Well, some dogs probably get... Yeah, coyotes, they'll eat dead carcasses. But anyway, they're all bottom feeders. And oysters, they don't really eat. They just filter filth and they suck up all the bacteria and shit. That's all they do. And you shouldn't be eating them damn things. People get sick off eating that shit.
AI is fueling stock market.
Yo, what the fuck? I didn't want to do that.
Well, catfish.
My bad, I didn't want to do that. Well, anyway, hold on. I'm gonna let it go back. Let me go back to the video.
What kind of research is needed so that we can answer those questions?
I think the big first thing is how does this thing spread?
Yeah.
And then a parallel line of research is can we treat it? You know, is this something that could be nipped in the bud? This might be the kind of place where...
Man, it's way too late to even treat something like this because this place is through and it's about to be... That's what the Lord got to nuke this shit. And I don't even know how much destruction is going to be coming to Canada because a lot of these missiles going to be hitting America. So it probably going to destroy parts of Canada and Mexico. So be it. But America, shit.
Some kind of a CRISPR
needs destruction.
DNA where you could have a very targeted...
Oh, so now they got the opportunity, since now that they found cancer spots. Fish probably even have that shit. They probably, I don't know. Are they just promoting CRISPR fish? CRISPR catfish? CRISPR crab legs. Yeah, CRISPR crabs. CRISPR Tasmanian devils. Some genetically modified animals. This is what they're promoting.
Treatment might be something that could be put into the ecosystem, and then...
Yeah, a treatment? You mean a genetically modified test tube Tasmanian devil? Or a catfish? And shit, I mean, goddamn. These niggers need to stop.
Do we need to sort of pinch off the catfish in this one lake and try to prevent it from spreading to other lakes? Because right now it's only known from this one relatively large lake. It's like Lake Champlain that crosses the border, but it's further to the east and quite a bit smaller.
But is there concern, like a parasite, when you get these invasive species, that this could spread to other waterways?
Yes, there is that concern, absolutely.
We just need the Lord, because Esau, you done enough damage already, nigga. There ain't no fixing this shit. Because anytime you try to fix something, it breaks. You're like Mr. Fix-It. You think you fixing something, it makes it worse. Well, Mr. Fix-It was a skit from was it Richard Pryor show when he comes to fix Paul Mooney's his ride. What did he start off? I forgot what. I don't know. He tried to screw on something on the side view mirror and the door fell off. And then he tried to put the door back on, but the hood popped open and flew off. And then he tried to put the hood back on, then all the 4 tires went flat. And then he tried to fix all the tires, and the tire, I don't know, the car caught on fire or something. I don't know, it blew up. I can't remember. It's just so old. But Mr. Fix was trying to fix it, and no matter what, the car just kept breaking and breaking and breaking. He couldn't do shit. But that Esau, he does this shit on purpose because he's a fucking dumbass. Next video. Oh, no, I ain't going to go to the next video yet. Let me read scripture. What is it? Matthew chapter 24, verse 7. For nation shall rise against nation, and kingdom against kingdom. When you got World War III. Class wars, civil wars, race wars, and yeah, they're gonna create a lot of pestilence sicknesses when you got a lot of people dying dead from wars and nobody regarding the damn take care of the dead by burying them or nothing like that. No, people get sick off of smelling nothing but red or dead carcasses of people and animals, and there shall be famines, lack of bread, and that's coming up next. Well, no, not yet, but it will be coming. As soon as I get past this first video or the next video talking about droughts in Utah. But anyway, pestilence, which I was on that topic, pestilence and earthquakes in diverse places. All these are the beginning of sorrows, plagues. Let's get to the next one about some droughts in Utah, water crisis.
Catch Hot New Deal. Today we're talking about a water pipeline, not oil, not gas, water. But something about this place doesn't make sense. Southern Utah says it needs billions of gallons of water from Lake Powell, but critics are pointing out golf courses, green lawns, and water waste.
So who's right? I drove across southern Utah to show you what's going on around here.
The pipeline doesn't actually begin here, but this is where the story starts. This is St. George, Utah, and it's exploded in size over the years. Today we're trying to answer one question. Does Southern Utah actually need the Lake Powell pipeline they've been proposing for years?
Or are people right when they say St. George already has enough water here? By the way, I'm John, and I've been studying the Colorado River for the majority of my life. Western water is all I do all day long. So like and subscribe and let's get started. All right, before we take a deep dive in, let's talk about what the great state of Utah has been wanting for a long time now. Understanding St. George also gives us an understanding of how Western cities use water in the United States.
In 2006, the Utah Board of Water Resources proposed a pipeline that would run about 140 miles from Lake Powell on the Colorado River to Sand Hollow Reservoir in St. George, Utah. A federal study says the pipeline can move up to 86,000 acre-feet each year, roughly 28 billion gallons of water. Utah is allowed to use 1.4 million acre-feet of Colorado River water each year. Right now, it only uses 73% of that share, leaving 27% still available. These days, they want to use a portion of that 27% right here.
St. George has changed dramatically over the years and construction is everywhere. New neighborhoods keep expanding and growing and the growth is easy to see. So about 60% of St. George's water supply comes from the Washington County Water Conservancy District. So the other 40% of the water actually comes from Snow Canyon and the Gunlock area through wells. If you live in St. George, most likely you get a majority of your water from this place right here. See guys, at least the water people know how to do landscaping. It's not grass, they know better, huh? I guess the big question is, can the current water supply...
Alright, I thought this was going, man, fuck this shit. I thought this would be something else. Whatever, let's get to the next one. Let's get to that hunger.
For the first time, Africa has become
famine.
The continent with the largest number of people suffering from hunger. A newly released UN report suggests that a growing number of Africans are facing undernourishment, and this is even though the proportion of its population affected declined slightly in 2025. According to the findings of the State of Food Security and Nutrition in the World 2026 report, published by the United Nations Food and Agriculture Organization and other UN agencies, hunger affected 309 million people in Africa last year, or 20% of the population. It also found that there has been gradual improvements towards reducing hunger overall in recent years, but that progress has been uneven. It said that the percentage of people who cannot afford a healthy diet has increased in Africa since 2021, while it has decreased in other regions of the world. Around 2/3, or 66.6% of Africans cannot afford a healthy diet, more than double the level recorded.
They say 66.6%, 2/3. Yeah.
In Asia. The report further said that rapid population growth in Africa pushed the continent past Asia in absolute numbers. Although the prevalence of hunger in Africa fell from 20.3%.
It's like 2/3 going to be starving, going through famine, especially in America. 2/3. That's worldwide.
To 20%. The African continent was followed by Asia, where 292 million people were touched by hunger, or 6% of the population. The report encouraged African nations to prioritize transforming the animal source food sector, which is the most expensive food group in the region. It highlighted that the continent has also been hit by severe climate-related shocks. In fact, in recent years, and conflicts have aggravated the situations. And for more, WION's correspondent Louisa Olani has sent us this report from Lagos, Nigeria. Take a look.
It is really worrisome that 66.6% of Africans cannot afford a healthy diet, according to a new United Nations report. The UN says more than 300 million Africans are undernourished, with conflict, climate change, and economic hardship driving the crime.
No, it's the plagues of Yahweh Shemal Shah. No climate change.
Crisis. While global hunger is slowly declining, the report warns that Africa's food insecurity is worsening, calling for urgent action to protect lives and strengthen food system, especially now that the Iranian war has impacted energy and fertilizer costs. From Lagos, Nigeria, Louisa Olani, WION, all this one.
Yep, got hunger, famine, growing more in Africa. There used to be small places where Africa going through famine. Now it's getting big. You Israelites over there dwelling in Africa better be seeking the Lord. Not be sinking on no damn fucking stupid ass gods that worship Nancy or whatever the fuck you call that nigga. Or whatever. Better be seeking Yahweh Shemal Shah. Let's get to the next one. Let's see what's going on with Russia.
Hi, welcome back to Joe Blogs. In today's episode, I want to talk to you about what's happening in the Russian economy, and specifically to look at the latest data, which...
I don't care about the economy, I just want to know if these niggas starving. Shit. Where we at? Gasoline, inflation, high rates, food, produce prices. I don't know, because I'm just going by the title. It says Russia's food crisis. I haven't watched any of these videos. It's my first time. These niggas got a whole bunch of different stuff to talk about. And I just want to talk about one thing.
For Russian business. And if we look at what's been happening over the past 3 years, you can see that the current situation where we've got virtually no increase in producer prices is the worst that's been seen in Russia since the middle of 2023.
All right, well, anyway, I'm not interested in all these things that Russia's going on. I would if it was talking about, let's say, if it was talking about the financial system of Russia. If I was talking about if I had a video about financial, like all these countries going through financial issues, yeah. But he just got a whole bunch of the different stuff added in to talk about. But I'm not gonna worry about playing this shit. Matter of fact, can this video. Let's continue on with the famine and the lack of bread. Cause yeah, it's gonna be worldwide. This shit gonna be worldwide. And that one way to get people microchip is get them the food. Go fuck with that food, water, all that shit. Heck yeah. They already been fucking with the air for the longest, especially in America. The air is going everywhere anyway, so they can't do much about that unless they really want. I don't know, but anyway, cut off the food, water, control the food, water, and electricity. Yeah, people get them lined up and don't get them microchips for sure.
It looks like the perfect storm. 3 crises. The war in Ukraine still hangs over one of the world's major grain exporting regions. The war involving Iran has disrupted energy, shipping, and fertilizer market.
I don't think they saying Ukraine is the breadbasket, or they got all the grain. I don't think so. I don't really fucking think so. They produce the most grain. I think that's a fucking lie. They keep saying that shit. I think that's a lie.
And a strong El Nino is developing, threatening drought in some places and a washout in others. Put those together and a new global hunger spike may seem inevitable, but it has not happened, at least not yet. Food prices are nearly 20% below their 2022 peak. That doesn't mean food is cheap. Prices are still well above pre-pandemic levels. International food prices rose.
But soon it will be.
After the Hormuz disruption, but nowhere near as dramatically as in
Now the Hormuz, they talking about some other strait, or whatever the fuck you call it, is closed too. I gotta look into that. But oh yeah, was it yesterday? No, it was the day before yesterday. Diesel was like $5. I think it was, no, the day before yesterday, diesel was $5. Now the next day after that, it was 30 cents more. Shit. Heck yeah. And then what else? I know, yeah, one gas station I was going to. I know this video ain't got nothing but nothing to do with fuel, but I just felt like talk about it. But one gas station, I remember the price was, well, the diesel was $5.30. Today is $5.29. So it dropped 1 cent less. Who the hell would bother changing the shit out if it dropped 1 cent less? That'd be like a waste of time even changing them damn numbers. Cause they got to change the numbers manually. They ain't got the digital board or the digital thing to tell you to change the numbers. But that's just a waste.
22. By June, they'd begun easing again. Why?
We are seeing improvements in agricultural productivity, for example, in India, across Latin America. These have helped sustain food production and reduce undernourishment, and this is balancing some of the localized impacts of conflict.
The world brought in the biggest grain harvest in history last year. This year's is expected to be slightly smaller at just under 3 billion tons.
Slightly smaller. Nigga, please.
But still the second largest ever, and the world has a buffer. Global cereal stocks are forecast to reach almost 958 million tons. The stock-to-use ratio, which measures how much food is left over, is 32%, near record levels. Grain has kept moving. Not only has Ukraine managed to keep exporting even when under fire, but prices have actually fallen because they've exported so much. As for El Nino,
really? Man, these motherfuckers lying.
It's expected to impact harvests due to extreme weather, so the prices of some foods will go up as a result. When weather damage remains regional, other major producers can often compensate, though that becomes harder if several growing regions are hit simultaneously or if governments restrict exports. But all that does not mean hunger is under control. The UN's Food and Agriculture Organization says 266 million people are facing acute hunger. That number has stayed fairly stable.
So the issue is not of availability, the issue is of distribution. When we refer to calories. So we have enough calories in the world produced to feed everybody.
Yeah, but you need nutrients. Because calories just keep you fat and full, but you need nutrients to keep your bones and muscles strong. That's what I can't fucking stand. These preppers. These prepper channels. They always talk about calories. Gotta get calories. But goddamn, what about the nutrients? Shit. I don't want to get fat. I want to goddamn be healthy. I want to be fucking full. I want to be healthy, nigga. I want some nutrients, nigga. Hell.
The problem is that those calories are not distributed in the same way across the world, and that's the challenge.
The worst hunger is, of course, where those global grain supplies cannot reach. Just 10 countries accounted for 2/3 of the people facing acute hunger in the food crisis countries assessed by the UN.
War is destroying local food sources, it's displacing millions of people, it's damaging infrastructure, and severely restricts.
But why the hell these niggas are lying their ass off? Talking about they got so much wheat, but then if it's so much wheat, how come it costs so damn much? And yeah, talking about these folks ain't getting the wheat to eat, and they have some. They get the fuck out of here. Y'all niggas are lying like yo asshole. Anyway,
humanitarian access, and in some hotspots such as Sudan and Gaza, for example, we are seeing that hunger is increasingly being used as a weapon of war.
Conflict in places like Gaza and Sudan can block markets and access to humanitarian assistance. Displacement can destroy incomes and local production, meaning global warehouses can be full while individual families have nothing to eat. And while the geopolitical conflicts have not blocked global supplies yet, there's a risk they could spin out of control. Just take one risk hiding in plain sight: fertilizer. Around a third of the global seaborne fertilizer trade passes through the Strait of Hormuz. Some farmers are paying substantially more, delaying purchases, or switching to crops that require less fertilizer. If they ultimately apply less, yields could suffer in the next harvest.
So the compound effect of a significant increase on all the input prices that are needed for agriculture because of the Strait of Hormuz closure, where 20 to 30% of the inputs come from, plus a potential stress of extreme temperatures or flooding, could create a very complex situation by the end of this year and next year.
So the buffers held. This time, record harvests, deep stockpiles, and rerouted trade have stopped a triple crisis from becoming a global food shock. The latest UN figures show that global hunger was actually falling before these new shocks fully arrived, but the effect is delayed. The UN also estimates that the Middle East conflict alone could leave millions more people hungry by 2030, and that projection does not yet include the effects of El Niño. The perfect storm has not yet produced a global food shock, but it has not passed either. If the oil price leaps again and stays high due to the conflict in Iran, if grain exports from Ukraine are successfully blockaded, if El Niño bites harder into next year's crops while farmers are already planting less, or if all those happen at once, then we could be facing a spike in global hunger. But don't forget, regardless of those shocks, for millions of people, especially in conflict zones, the food crisis never went away.
Please. Should I play this? Because wars. No, I ain't gonna play that one. Fuck that shit. Let's go ahead and get the last one. Let me read Ezekiel chapter 5, verse 16. When I shall send upon them the evil arrows of famine, which shall be for their destruction, and which I will send to destroy you, and will break your staff of bread. No, will increase the famine upon you, and will break your staff of bread. So that's Yahweh Shema Shah breaking that staff of bread on you people in the world, and people gonna be dying. You think it's bad right now? You ain't seen shit. It's gonna get really bad. Let's get this last one.
We still have DVDs, and people still get them because when they lock this internet up, ain't nobody streaming nothing. Streaming was created for real-time editing. The reason we're all into streaming, the reason why they took the hard drive out of the Apple TV, the reason why they don't want you with content is because they want to be able to alter content. See, if you're streaming, it's on their server, not yours. You don't own it. You don't even have it.
I haven't watched this video, so pretty much the time you own enough and be happy. I just feel like watching some of it.
But they sell a computer now, the fastest computer out right now, and the hard drive is tiny. Why you only give me 100 of this? 28 gigabytes? And if you want more, you got to pay thousands of dollars. Absolutely. Why are they doing that? Because they want it in the cloud. Because two things happens if it's in the cloud. One, they have it, and the other thing is they learn it. Metatron don't know. He's not omniscient. He's not like God or whatever. This demon spirit has to learn. They need our voices, our images, dude, it's us. We're all cyborgs. There's a digital.
Not yet. You will be when they get them chip implants inside your ass. Then you a cyborg. The cyborg shit ain't gonna be outside of you. No, it's gonna be inside of you.
Version of all of us in the hands of the enemy. He's created it from our uploads. He's showing all your birthday. He's showing everything you do. You learn it. How else would the devil be omnipresent? He wants to be like God. The internet makes him omnipresent.
Not just the internet, just the technology, period. The technology that controls, watch, and listen to everything you do, say, and all that shit. Yeah. Especially that chip implant. You know what? I'm not going to play no more of this. This is going to be for, if it's talking about artificial intelligence and such, you will own enough and be happy. I'm going to say this for that. So I'm going to end this video. I'm just curious about what it's about. But if you want to watch it on your own time, there go the title of the video. There go bruh channel, GMS dedication. Subscribe if you feel like it. It's up to you. I can't tell you like, share, and subscribe is a must. No, it'd be wise to do and be edified, but you don't have to anyway, because this ain't for everybody. But I advise you to seek the Lord by seeking the prophets, because it's about to get bad out here. You're gonna need every bit of faith boosters, fear boosters, something from Yahweh Shema Shah to take them serious on these plagues being brought in judgment. But yeah, man, seek the Lord by seeking His prophets and take heed to what they're saying. Try to build a spiritual mental relationship with Yahweh Shema Shah by praying Yahweh Shema Shah, praising Yahweh Shema Shah, worshiping Yahweh Shema Shah, fearing Yahweh Shema Shah, repenting Yahweh Shema Shah. To all the men out there pushing this truth and nothing but the truth in the name, spirit, and the power of Yahweh Shema Shah. Keep on preaching, keep on teaching, keep your faith and trust strong. Yahweh Shema Shah, and stay humble. And for you few sisters out there taking heed, keep your faith and trust strong. Yahweh Shema Shah, stay humble, stay in order with your man. If you ain't got no man, stay in order with Yahweh Shema Shah. Peace and blessings to the hopeful elect, and all praises to Yahweh Bahashem, Yahweh Shah. Shalom.